Hello, welcome to the Garden Clinic. I'm Sandra Ross. Today we're planting bulbs. As it's coming to Mother's Day, the middle of May is a really nice little trigger to remind you to plant your spring flowering bulb. All those beautiful hyacinths, daffodils, tulips, jonquils, freesias, ranunculus, all should be planted by the middle of May, once the soil temperatures have cooled down. That's why I like to wait until then. So the last 2 weeks of May are perfect. I'm planting them today in pots just to give you a few tips, but you can certainly plant them in the garden as well. When you're planting in pots, now this one I'm planting ranunculus, which is just the most fabulous bulb. Look, these funny little corms have been, I've just soaked them overnight in a bowl of water just to swell them up, and you plant them claws down. In a pot like this, it's a little bit deep. So make sure, firstly, that your pot's got a really good hole, a really good drainage hole. Secondly, that you sit it up on pot feet. Really good to get the drainage, to make sure it drains well. Thirdly, to half fill it with polystyrene blocks so that it's not too heavy and it's not too full of wet soil. Fourthly, you take a little bit of shade cloth and cover the polystyrene. And then last, you've got a really good quality potting mix that's got hopefully some slow release fertiliser in it. If you're reusing old potting mix, you can use this potting mix booster from Seasol. It's full of nutrients and microbes, and it'll really help your bulbs grow. So just fill up your pot with this, or just top up your pot with the potting mix almost to the top. So these little claws are actually a type of bulb. This is ranunculus, and they're nice and swollen and plump, so perfect for planting now. So when you're planting, just bury them into the soil with the claws down and cover them over with soil. Now in this pot I can probably fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just 6 in that pot. Plant them. Water them in with a lovely seaweed solution. A bit of Seasol is a really good idea. Set them up on the pot feet in a lovely sunny spot in your courtyard, and then just make sure the moisture level is constant. Don't let them dry out. They need to really absorb all that nutrient from the slow release fertiliser and from the seaweed, and they'll grow, and eventually it'll take about 10 weeks for them to come into flower. So that's the story about ranunculus. Now we're talking about hyacinths, all about perfume. Nothing beats them. They really are showstoppers. This is my crisper. They've been in the crisper chilling for the last 6 weeks, and they've still got a couple more weeks. Remember, Mother's Day is the perfect time to plant them. I've chosen 2 lovely pots, this pretty little decorative pot that's going to sit on my dining room table when they come into flower, and this lovely shallow terracotta pot where they'll grow beautifully. I think hyacinths do really suit pots. Now I've chosen this lovely variety called Woodstock. It's a beautiful, deep, gorgeous purple. Woodstock. I got it from the Van Diemen's catalogue. There's so many beautiful hyacinths to choose from. You're spoilt for choice. But Woodstock, in this particular pot, I'm planting Woodstock. So remember that hyacinths have got something in the skin of the bulb that can cause severe allergies. Now, that's why I wear gloves when I'm handling them. And if you do find you're if you do find you're infected with something, just give your hands a really good wash in warm water. Now the pot I've chosen's got a really good drainage hole. In fact, it's got 4 drainage holes. So I'm going to cover them with a little piece of shade cloth so the soil doesn't fall through. This pot too has got little pot feet on it, so it sits up and really drains well. I've chosen a really good potting mix with the controlled release fertiliser already added. So I'm going to half fill it with the soil. Now it's really important to put this pot in a cool, shaded area, almost dark, for almost 6 weeks. That means that the bud will slowly emerge, won't grow too fast, won't grow too floppy, it'll be nice and firm, and it'll come right up out of the bulb itself. So a nice cool spot. When you start to see the bulb, the flower bud starting to shoot, then you can gradually bring it out into more light, and then when it's in flower you can even bring it indoors. I'm going to put this on my dining room table. There are hundreds and hundreds of daffodils to choose from, so many. I've chosen one called Neon. It's a lovely bright yellow with a little fluted trumpet and a white base. Gorgeous. There's a picture of it there. I've got 50 of them in this bag, so I'm planting some in the garden and I'm planting some in this plastic pot. Now I'm going to put this inside a decorative pot, but it's nice and light, and that's why I like plastic pots. I've half filled it with the polystyrene, I've put the shade cloth, I've filled it up with the potting mix, and these bulbs are set to go. So the thing with bulbs, the flower is already in that bulb when you plant it. This year's flower is pretty set. Next year's flower depends whether you feed it or not. So with daffodils, you need to give them 3 lots of fertiliser in their growing cycle. So when you plant them, either in the pot or in the garden, give them some feed. I'm using a controlled release fertiliser for the pot, in the garden a complete fertiliser when you plant them. And plant your bulbs in the garden nice and deep, at least 3 times as deep as they are high. So they're nice and deep and they're protected from the scorching summer sun. They stay nice and cool. In a pot it's a little bit different. I've backfilled this with some lovely, really good quality potting mix, and you can really cram them in right up close to each other. Some of these are doubles, some of them are singles. So I'm just going to put as many as I can in, and not too deep. I want them fairly close to the top in the pot. In the garden it's a little bit different. So I can really fit quite a few in here. The lovely thing about daffodils is that in pots you can put them anywhere. You can put them in the garden, you can put them in a courtyard, you can put them on a sunny balcony, as long as there's plenty of sunshine. That's the sort of prerequisite for bulbs. So there you go, they're all sitting in there nicely, and then I'll just backfill with potting mix again. So when you're planting daffodils, or really any bulb, it's important that they don't dry out. So just give them a really, really good drink with a little bit of seaweed in it when you plant them. Keep watering until the water drains through the base of the pot, and then put this pot into a nice sunny spot. And just maintain that moisture level right through the growing season. But certainly don't overwater them. Put them into a lovely sunny spot. As I say, so many beautiful daffodil miniatures, fragrant jonquils, they're a type of daffodil too. Lots and lots of beautiful daffodils to choose from. Now it's time for tulips. They really are the queen of the bulbs. There's so many gorgeous varieties. Parrot tulips, fringed tulips, doubles, speckled, splashed, blended. Oh my gosh, gorgeous. This lovely variety that I've chosen is Candy Apple Delight. It's a sort of a cherry red with a lovely white margin. I think it's going to be divine in this lovely shallow terracotta pot, really perfect for tulips. This pot's got a good drainage hole, a nice big one, so it does need a piece of shade cloth over it. I'm going to sit it over, and of course it needs to sit on pot feet so that it drains well. A really good quality potting mix, so I'm going to sort of fill this almost to the top. And then I'm going to bed as many tulips. I've got 50 here that have been in the crisper of the refrigerator for 8 weeks, which is exactly what they need. And you can cram as many in as you can fit so that you get a really, really good show. You don't need a pot as big as this. You can choose a smaller pot, but this lovely shallow pot is perfect, and it'll probably fit lots and lots of bulbs. So there you go, cram as many into the pot as you can possibly fit. In the garden you'd space them a little further. Pop them into just a gentle morning sunny spot and you'll have absolutely gorgeous tulips. Remember, if you're in a cool climate, you'll have to plant your tulips every year. So even though you chill them, they'll only flower once. In a cold climate, they will reflower year after year, especially in the garden. So I'm going to have to buy more gorgeous tulips next year. Hope you have fun. with all the lovely bulbs that you can be planting. And just remember that Mother's Day is the trigger, or the last 2 weeks of May. That's the time to plant them.